All right, guys, welcome to the Permission to Hustle podcast. It's Audrey and Vera here. And today's episode is all about how simple pitching can really change the course of your business. It all starts with a simple pitch. And today we're going to share our 3 secrets as to really why we feel pitching is just for us the foundation of a business, why it's been very successful for us, and why we found it really successful for other entrepreneurs, influencers who truly pitch all the time, and that it really does help change your business and help it to grow, help you get more contacts, and really most important for us, we're just being very honest, brings more money into your pockets. There's nothing wrong with making more money, and it's something that I know for us is a large part of the reason why we do what we do, right? We want to be able to provide for our families. So we're going to share the 3 secrets today, and we hope you guys take these secrets with you to heart and really truly follow them. Do these. We're passing them on to you for a reason.
So our very first secret is we never wait for money to come our way. We are constantly on the offense, and consistency is key. We make sure that we pitch on a regular basis, and we try to give ourselves a number to hit every week. And it's even if you go above and beyond the number that you set for yourself, it's nice to just tell yourself, once a week, I want to make sure I approach 5 brands, 3 brands, 7 brands. I don't know what your number is going to be when you first get started. I don't know how aggressive you want to make your goal. Maybe when you're first starting out, maybe you want to start out a little bit low and then work your way up. But a great number would be, I would say 3. Mm-hmm. So you can say, okay, once a week, I want to reach out to 3 brands a week with pitches that I'm going to customize to their brands. And I'm going to reach out and let them know this is what I'm going to offer them. This is how much I'm expecting in return for the work that I'm providing, and even if they say no, it's okay. At least I've had that connection, because with every connection, I stay top of mind, which is again always the important thing to do with business.
Absolutely. And our second secret that we want to share with you guys is, being proactive really does just help you get more business. And we say being proactive, how it's different than just the consistency, is that, look at your inbox or look at press releases that come out every single day as potential ways for you to, we always use this kind of image when we say this, but you're kind of casting a fishing pole. You're putting a lot of, fishing poles out there for you to potentially catch a fish, right? You're starting the flame on your own. And, one of my favorite songs, Andy Grammer, he has a song, I think it's Hallelujah or something like that. And one of the lyrics in it is he throws I throw a lot of coals on the fire to sometimes you have to get burned. And I love that because he was talking about his own story. Things were coming up dry. It was raining and he just couldn't figure out how to get more, be more successful, be more. And he said, I just kept throwing coals on the fire. And that's what we do. We throw a lot of coals on the fire to hopefully make the flame keep burning. And, every single day when, you're logging into your inbox, or you're on Twitter, or you're on Facebook, or you're on Instagram, really look at all of these things as potential opportunities for you to pitch people. Maybe it's a small mom and pop shop that, you could potentially partner with, and maybe it's not a lot of money, but, maybe it's a little bit of money and you're just starting out, and it's a great way for you to start getting your foot, out in the door there and create really great content that you can share with other people. But, Vera and I have always been people that, we look at press releases. If we see anything that potentially could work for us, we 100% do it. We will sit down, we'll come up with some really great ideas. And, people always say to us, well, how could you possibly think of pitches for everything? Well, we don't. But if we saw a press release come through about a new e-cigarette, well, we don't smoke. So we would never pitch something like that. We don't have babies. So if stuff for babies came along, we wouldn't pitch anything for babies. But if anything came along along in our inbox or online that I looked at or Vera looked at and said, you know what, this actually would be a great to work with, or this is travel or food or whatever the case is, you know if it's going to work for you. And that's what we always say. You have to be proactive. Always look for the opportunities and never be afraid, especially when it comes to pitching, to reach out and ask somebody if they're open to you sending them some ideas for potential work. The worst somebody is going to say is no. It's the worst thing someone is going to tell you.
And that sort of is a great lead into our last secret. Our last secret is don't let a no get you down.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about us. I feel like maybe it's because we've been in business for so long. I am not offended by a no.
No.
I don't even care.
You almost need a no first to go, okay, good, it happened. You know what I mean? Like when someone
guess.
breaks up with you, it's like, right. Okay, good, your heart's been broken, it's shattered, you know what it feels like.
Yeah.
Now you'll know.
I guess. I mean, we sort of like have been coaching a lot of women over the years, and a lot of times I hear from them, well, I'm just so afraid of the rejection. And my answer always back to these women is, do you think men are sitting around in a conference room saying, I'm so afraid of this rejection, maybe we shouldn't submit this proposal?
Right.
It just doesn't happen. I mean, I don't want anybody to feel that way. I want you to take the perspective of business is business.
Right.
It's a no because the brand doesn't have budget. It's a no because the product doesn't align with you as a blogger or a businesswoman or whatever it is. It's not because you're not a good person.
Right.
It's not doesn't reflect about who you are as a mother or as a woman in general. It's just business.
Right.
So if I pitch something and it doesn't work for a brand, business-wise, it didn't make sense for the company. And I understand that because
right.
It's fine. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to pitch it to 20 other people, and I only need one of them to bite. I only need one bite.
Right.
A long time ago, we used to do an event called Getting Gorgeous. And
the crowd goes wild. We used to love Getting Gorgeous events. We love doing those.
And the way that the event ran was a big expo hall, and about 15 brands were allowed to allotted space in the hall. So they would each get a 10 by 10 spot. They could do what they wanted, but we needed about 15 brands in order to make the event successful. In order to fill a 15 spaced event, we would have to send out about, I don't even know, 200 plus pitches. So 200 plus no's to get 15
And mind you, too, the price points, because we'll just be very honest, the price points were really only about $5,000 per booth. And if you if you don't know prices necessarily for expos or conferences, that's truly, a very low price when it comes to the comparison of what it could be for other events, right. or if a brand had to do an event on their own, we're talking $40,000 to $50,000.
Right, but they did also have to build their booth.
They had to build their booth, absolutely,
right.
But the price point was always really good. And you and I at the beginning would be like, oh my gosh, why isn't anybody biting? But to Vera's point, we sent out 200
right
for 15.
But we still always were able to get what we needed to get.
Yeah.
And the year after, because we did that for several years in a row, if Herbal Essence said no one year, we still pitched them the next year.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I was going to say, oh my gosh, they said no last year. We can't go to them again.
Because to your point before, you never know if someone was going to say to you, you know what, this is a great idea, but we've already allocated the budget.
Yes.
And if we had known about this a year ago, because, one thing that Vera said too the other day when we were on a mastermind call was, you never know when everyone's fiscal year is different.
Totally.
So we always think the new year is new money.
Right.
And when you said that the other day in the group, I was like, that's something that I feel like you should reiterate multiple times throughout the year, because a lot of the times you do feel defeated, and then you have to say, but wait a second, our fiscal, that fiscal year starts in July, theirs starts in October, it's not the same. So here you are getting all upset, and you're like, the brand is thinking, well, we loved it, we just didn't have the money to do it.
Right, because we had a call with a major destination location, and when we were on the call with them, they said they were already planning Q3 because their fiscal year ended. And I was thinking to myself, wait a second, we are all upside down here. I can't believe you're in quarter 3, it's January. How does that make sense? But that's because every business is on their own calendar, quite frankly. So it's really, a no is not about you all the time. So don't make it be about you. Just move on. And then the next day, you know what's going to happen? That PR girl is going to pitch you back something, because it's not offensive.
Right.
She said no to you, and then tomorrow she's going to email you and say, hey, this new dry shampoo just released. Would you mind writing about it editorially? And then you're going to say no. But here's my rates, and then she's gonna say no, and then the next time when there's money,
it's a dance.
It will line up. Exactly. It is a dance, and everybody gets heard no all day long, but sometimes it'll line up, and then that's when you move forward. Pitching has to be almost emotionless.
Yeah.
It really has to be that way. Like, you go in and you just blast them out, make them customizable as much as you can, build your relationships. I mean, that's a whole different podcast, but build your relationships up with the teams and the companies, so that when you do send a pitch, they look at it more so than they will from a generic blank email that out of nowhere. And don't get offended when you hear a no.
And that's a good point, Vera. What you just said is be emotionless. And I think that the way that you probably can get over the no feeling is the more that you're sending out, the more you're going to start. You're going to see all of a sudden you're going to get a thicker skin. So the more you send out, if you send out 1 or 2 pitches, you're going to be so invested in those 1 or 2 pitches. If you're sending out, like we said, 3 or 4 or 5 a week, and you're doing it consistently, and you're having a lot of fun finding brands that might align with you, you're going to start to see that at the end of the month. Wow, okay, so listen, not everybody said yes. Actually, a majority said no, but a couple did say, well, we're interested. So, and again, I always remember this. My dad was in sales. You're going to send out 100 pitches, and if 10 people come back with the yes, that's a win. So, you really do have to just not be that invested in it. Do keep it on as a regular part of business. Allow it to be fun for you and really figure out places that would work for you. But do it consistently enough where you're not going to allow a no to really, hang you up. And you're going to know that you're going to start to get you're going to know you're turning into a strong businesswoman when a no, then you look at it and go, well, don't you wait, because I'm going to show you now the kind of content I can produce. So next time I pitch you, you're not going to be able to say no.
And I just want to say one more thing. This is I guess a bonus. If you're getting all no's, then you need to reassess your pitch. Maybe it's too high. Maybe you're not providing enough to the brand.
Right.
You need to, if it's all no's, then you need to take a step back.
Yeah.
And just at the flip of the coin, if it's all yeses, then you're pricing yourself too low.
Yeah.
So it's really you almost have to take a temperature of your efforts as you're going along. What works in January is not going to work in May.
Right.
And you have to keep watching and analyzing everything that you do, because if not, you're going to do yourself a disservice.
And this might be a bonus, but just so you guys know, Vera and I, we always start it with it's like a 2 email sequence. We email asking, and we just want to reiterate this because I feel like a lot of questions are going to be, well, how do you pitch? How do you start it? And again, just very simply, we send an email saying, hey, I'm looking right now at an ottoman in front of me. We're in a hotel together. So let's just say, I'm like, hey, you know what? We're actually, I saw that, you have new ottomans, and I'm going to make up just make up a furniture store. Be like, hey, we happen to be redoing our home right now. I have a few ideas. Is there any way you'd be open to me pitching you some ideas for a work relationship? See what they come back with. If they come back at you and say, hey, listen, that'd be great, we're looking for ways to partner with influencers, then you have your green light to send them a pitch. And when we say pitch, we always send them very high level. We don't go nitty gritty, but we always send 3 different variations of what we could potentially offer them at all different price points, starting from low, a medium, and a high. And, that comes down to what you genuinely want to give them and what you want to price them at. And we, in our mastermind course, we talk through rates and all that, and it's a larger conversation that could be a whole podcast on its own. But that is a very high level how we skeleton out a pitch. We do a cold pitch out. If they accept it, great. We email them back with some ideas and some ballpark price ranges, and then we see what they say. If they email you back and say, hey, listen, we're not really looking to partner with anybody, well, then that's a no. Or maybe they'll go back to you and say, we're not looking to do any paid work, but maybe we can send you an ottoman. Well, then you have to decide on your own if that's something that you want to do for no money.
So that's it for today. If you would be so kind, we would love to have
we'll make you cupcakes.
We would love to have a review or a comment. That would be wonderful. You could find us online at Permission to Hustle on Instagram and Facebook, and on Twitter we are Audrey and Vera. So thank you so much for spending your time with us today, and stay tuned for more information. We have plenty of podcast topics on our minds. Until next time.
Bye, guys.